Hello, Leadership Council. This is Kyle Anderson, your Executive Director, and I'm joined by Tapi with JewelRide. How are you?
I'm doing well.
Good,
Thank you
good.
so much.
JewelRide's been in business now for a little over 5 years, which is amazing, overcoming the struggles of COVID and all the things that went with that. And just wanted to, do you want to give a real quick, brief introduction of what JewelRide is and what you guys do, so people might not know?
Well, thank you, and thank you for the opportunity, Leadership
Thank
Council. This is really appreciated. My name is Tapi. As Kyle, mentioned, the full name is Tapi Pereki, but I make it easy for people. I just go by Tapi. And I'm the co-founder and CEO of JewelRide, which is a healthcare mobility company based right here in Edwardsville. We started in 2019, September of 2019, doing what we're doing right now. And the company was started by a pharmacist and a physician. 2019, it was a tricky year to start anything, if you remember what was going on at that time. A few months after we just started, then COVID-19 came in. And so it changed the whole landscape from trying to think about growing, just to aiming to survive. Survival was a success at that time.
100%.
And in terms of why, we thought of starting this, I was reading a lot of different articles. I've always wanted to be an entrepreneur. I've always known that entrepreneurs can work towards financial freedom and also time freedom. So I've always wanted that. I've worked as a pharmacist for many, many years. But at the back of my mind, I've always wanted to be a pharmacist. So I was looking at different ideas. And this issue of healthcare transportation, I was kind of stunned when I was seeing articles talking about millions of people failing to go to medical appointments because of lack of reliable transportation. So I thought I could get into it. That was really what prompted, my wife and I to start. My wife is a pediatrician and I'm a pharmacist myself. And so we have been doing this for 5 years. And pretty much we're a healthcare mobility company with a focus on what's called non-emergency medical transportation. To simplify it, we help people with rides to go to their medical appointments. A lot of people don't realize it, but there's a huge need in the community because of different reasons. It could be age, it could be mobility issues, it could be issues of cost and so forth. So we are there to close that gap. So we cater for all people in terms of ages, in terms of mobility levels. We do that, and we've been doing that for the past 5 years. We've been getting some traction in terms of what we're doing. And in terms of, I don't know if we'll come to those questions, but it's about a team of about 30 of us, 30. And we're just excited to be in this community at this stage.
Well, that's fantastic. When an entrepreneur like yourself starts off, they start off with that vision and just a focus on achieving that goal or that vision, not thinking about some of the hurdles or obstacles that may come in front of you. So what are like one or two of the hurdles or obstacles that you had to overcome or think about that you didn't really envision having to think about? Are there any in particular hurdles you had to overcome?
Oh yes, absolutely. I think as an entrepreneur, I think it's Reid Hoffman, co-founder of LinkedIn, and now Microsoft, board member. The other time he was saying, being an entrepreneur sometimes it's like jumping from a plane, and then you're gonna try to make the parachute on your way down. Obviously, what he was saying is you go into a lot of unknowns. You believe that what you're doing is great. You have an open mission like us. We really want to make sure that people have access to healthcare. When we do that, then we can improve health outcomes at the community level. People are going to be in better health. So that's an open mission. But in terms of achieving it, you go into it and there are so many things that you don't really know. In terms of putting systems together, trying to build a team and so forth, I found that to be quite challenging. I realized that just having an open mission is not enough. You have to come out with things for people to believe in what you are doing. And so eventually, we have been fortunate to find people who believe in what we're doing, but that was a challenge initially, to overcome that. How can people believe in you? What is it that's going to make people to wake up every morning and say, I'm going to my workplace and it's JewelRide, and they are leaving all these big brands, So that was quite a challenge initially. And I think part of it is, I've been working as a pharmacist and also like in international development. I was used like to work with organizations, different stakeholders, but not like the one who's behind the whole thing. I was just used to working well-established systems and so forth. So that transition from working in well-established systems to try to actually come up with a system yourself, I thought that was challenging. It was exciting but challenging at the same time. So I had to overcome that. I think that's something that you continue to overcome, especially like team building and so forth. I think Steve Jobs the other time, was saying, Apple is a big company, but we want to feel like we're a startup. In other words, so that the thinking is continuously fresh and new ideas and so forth. So those are all things that we continue to try to overcome here at JewelRide.
So you just mentioned team building, and so my next question would be focused on, the business community as a whole. So what does it mean for a startup or a entrepreneur to be a part of the bigger business community, business groups, business organizations, B&I, all that stuff? What's it mean, and what value have you been able to pull out of groups like Leadership Council or B&I or Chambers?
Oh, it's a lot. I think entrepreneurship is the journey where if you try to do it by yourself, I think you are sure to fail. But if you have opportunities to network with people, it's surprising how kind people are. A lot of times we think, people are not approachable or people don't have time. But if you give yourself, the time, if you explain yourself well to people are willing to help.
Mm-hmm.
So I find that, that's really a plus. Like Leadership Council, you remember when you came there, we were one of the winners of the Metro East Startup Challenge.
Mm-hmm.
And so the idea was to get us exposed to experienced entrepreneurs, policymakers, business people, and some strategic, constituencies in this community. So that's precisely what we continue to benefit from there. That you can easily walk to someone who's very senior. The other day I was, I met, I can mention his name, Gary. I said, Gary, just trying to look for some help. And he was so kind. He said, come to the office and then we talk. So some of those things, to be able to have access to people who have walked the path, I think that's really, the greatest benefit for Leadership Council, for BNI, for, Chamber of Commerce. And Leadership Council in particular, I think is unique because you get they are all coming together. And that focus, that entrepreneurial focus is there all the time. Just recently, I think at the gala, last week, I was just amazed and blown away by the story of, Prairie Farms, how they are doing it, the kind of revenue they are talking about now. And because I belong to groups like Leadership Council, I could easily walk and speak with that person or email, and they respond to my email. So that's really a huge benefit to be, to be within such networks. It helps you to grow. It's a learning journey to be an entrepreneur. So Leadership Council, it provides that platform to be able to learn from the best, to learn in real time, to learn, the correct way of doing things. You may read books, but you need a real person to tell you how to do it.
Yeah, agreed. So I'm a budding entrepreneur. I had this great idea, and I'm starting down the pathway of that. What is one piece of advice that you would have to give that person, or you 5 years ago? What would you tell yourself 5 years ago that you've learned, in this time?
Oh, sure. I would say entrepreneurship, like I just mentioned, it's a school on its own. So continue to have the drive to learn if you're an entrepreneur. If you have something that you want to achieve, it can be achieved. But you need to be always in a learning mode, particularly nowadays, with AI coming in and other technologies. Something that's completely relevant today may be obsolete in the next year or so. So as an entrepreneur, I would say, if you have an idea, don't fear to pursue it. I think somebody, said, if you see anything great, know that someone at some stage took a courageous decision.
Sure.
Anything great, whether it's a building, it's a company, or it's a movement or anything like that. So if you have something that you deeply believe in, don't fear to pursue it. But part of the journey in pursuing that be a learning machine. Be willing to learn because things are always changing. And those who are prepared to adapt are likely, the ones to be successful.
Well, that's one reason why we're doing this, is so people can learn about you, because our membership is in that constant mode of learning, and it's part of our job and mission as the Leadership Council to educate not only our membership but the general public on all of the great businesses we have here. So to segue into that, what's one hidden gem you have found? Something that people may not know about Southwestern Illinois that you think they should know about? One hidden gem.
I think I would say the people.
Okay.
Yeah, the people are really willing to help. That's one thing that I found. Like I was mentioning, whether it's Leadership Council or whether it's our community, whether it's the mayor or whoever, people are willing to help.
Good.
And we take that for granted. It's not like that if you go to other parts of the country or even other parts of the world. So I think it's a gem that we're in a place where people are willing to listen to you. People are willing to find how they can help, and it's not just like lip service or just some PR. People really mean it.
Yeah.
They want to help you. So I think it's a gem. I see that all the time.
I love that answer. And born and raised in this area, I totally agree with it. And I always tell people the people are our best asset. Work, dedication and their attitude. It's a special place. So, thank you very much for your time today. We're done with the interview, but we wouldn't mind taking a couple of looks at your fleet out there. And
sure.
So, thank you very much, Toppy. Really appreciate your time today.
Oh, I really appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you.